Hi guys, this is Tech Howdy. I welcome you to this video tutorial on creating an ASP.NET Core application with Angular 7. In this video tutorial, we will learn how we can add routing to our application components. Now, in the previous tutorial where we created our components for home, products, login, and register, we wanted to access these components individually. What I mean is when I go to my URL or my domain and / when I say home, so I should be taken to the home page. Or if I have my default domain where somebody accesses it, I should be showing my home component here. That's my home view. Also, if somebody wants to access login, so they should be able to access login like this. And if somebody wants to access a register page, then they can access register page by just typing / register to my URL. Now, as you notice that whenever we try to access these components, it's redirecting us to the home page. That's because it cannot find those routes. And why it cannot find those routes? Because we have not yet enabled them. And to enable routing in our application, first thing we want to go and do is open our app module.ts file. So let's go ahead and open our app module.ts file. So app module.ts file is now open, and now if you carefully look inside this file, you have a module called as the app routing module, and we are importing this module from our app routing module.ts file. Now, when you created your Angular application using the terminal, you must remember that the option that it was asking you was to enable routing, and then it asked you for the styles that was CSS. So the one of the option was routing, and we enabled routing. So when we use the option to add routing, it creates a routing module for us. Now this routing module is inside our app routing.module.ts file, and it imports the packages router module and routes. Now to enable routing inside our project so that we can access our client app, that is using the proper routes for our components, we need to add them here inside this app routing module.ts file. And to do that, first thing that we want to do is inside the imports where we see router module.forRoute method. Inside the method, as you see, it says clearly that any routes that we want to use, we have to specify them here. So let's go ahead and add our routes inside the for route method. And as we all know, the route is basically our app component.ts. So now let's go ahead and delete this routes parameter, and then inside the method we will create an array because we are going to add multiple routes. That's why I have added an array, and inside the array we are going to add each and every route that we are going to use inside our application. Since we are adding the routes for our home component, so the way we add routes is we open and close curly braces, and the first option that we use is the path. Path is basically what how do you want to access the home component. So when somebody clicks on our URL or somebody enters the URL /home, they should be redirected to our home page. So the path would be home, and then where should it be directed to, which component? So the component would be our home component. So once you add home component, it will add the import statement here that's importing the home component. In case if it doesn't add it automatically and you see an error here, just add it manually importing home component, or you can just copy it from here from your app module.ts file. And so now we have added the path to access our home, but we also want to make sure that when somebody accesses the link of our application, here. So if they just access it like that without the /home, they should still be redirected to the home page. And so to do that, we have to add one more route. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, we will open and close our curly braces, and we will specify the path. So what will the path be? The path will be an empty string because there's no path, because if somebody directly accesses the URL, they should be redirected to the home component. And for the component, once again, we are going to use the home component, and here we have to specify one more attribute, which is the path match. And for the value, we will use the option full. So the full path of a URL should match in order to redirect to the home component. So now we can save this and go back to our client app. And now let's go ahead and access our route /home. So as you notice, we are not being redirected back to the URL, and we can access the home route now, the home component. And if we access the link by itself, we are able to access it. But our component, that is our HTML code, is not being displayed inside the home view. So what would be the reason? The reason is inside our app module dot component dot html, we need to specify that we want to display different route views or different route components inside the app. So how do we display it? Because if we use the component's name like app component app.home, so we know that it's going to display the home page or home view on all the pages, and we don't want that. So we just want to display the route, the specific route when somebody tries to access it. So if somebody tries to access home, they should display the home route. If somebody tries to access login, so they should be able to see the login component. And somebody accesses register, they should be able to see the register component in the app. So to do that, instead of adding the individual component, we are going to use the tag router dash outlet and open and close the HTML tag. So router dash outlet will display the component of the specific route that is being called. So now let's save this and try to access our application. And now as you see that in our home page, we can access the component that is the home component. But if I go back to the regular URL, I can still access the home component because that's what we added in our route. But there is an issue that we need to fix, and the issue is if there is any component in our application that is not available and the user is trying to access it, then they should be redirected to our home page. So let's say we don't have a login route created yet, and the user is trying to access the login route, then he should be redirected to this home page. So if I click on login, what I see is I'm being redirected to the default URL, but I'm not seeing the home component being displayed. So the home component is not loading. So it is just routing me to this URL, but it is not loading the home component. In order to redirect me to the URL and load the home component, I need to add one more path. So let's do that. And inside the path here, we will add one more path to fix the issue. And the way we do that is, first thing we want to specify over here is the path. And for the path, within my quotation marks, I'm going to specify 2 asterisks, which means anything that's not basically available, so we don't know whatever they're trying to access other than the blank a string or the empty string or the home path. If any other paths are being trying to be accessed, then we want to redirect. So we will use the redirect option. So using this redirect to option, we can redirect the user to the component that we want them to see. So I want them to be redirected to the home component, and by doing this, the user will be able to see the home component and the home view. So now let's say if I try to access login, because I have not yet created the login route, and now I'm being redirected to the home page. So my home component is being loaded. So in this way, we can add routing of components in our application in Angular 7. So if you have any questions, you can always use the comment section. And this will be the end of this video tutorial. In the next video tutorial, we will start fixing the images in our application. And so please like and subscribe my channel Tech Howdy. Thank you once again for watching.